in my 20s, I decided that I need to focus. Because unlike that little flame there, I had so much fire. I'm interested in almost everything. So I had an idea. Why don't I'm already in love back then. So why don't I get married, make a baby, and quit my job? I could not recall what went first, but I did it. So yeah, that's the end of my talk actually. So focus. Being jobless, I decided to launch my glorious graphic design career in my attic. Just like most of my idols, they started in their attic or in their garage. And when the bills kept coming and the milk is running low and the diapers are nowhere to be found, so that gave me focus. And it's very, very hard. But in spite of that, 2 years later, I managed to get out of that attic, create my own design studio called InDesign, and managed to hire 2 guys. Actually, I actually convinced them that this is a good way to make a living, and they joined me. And we grew into a 6-man team, and our first account in our first year was, our biggest account was 150,000. That was very big back then, because logo design and other design services range from 1.5 to 5,000. So 150, it was a yay moment for us. And then in our second year, we got an account for 1.5 million. And in our third year, we got an account for 4 million. So in my early 20s, I was a millionaire on paper. So I decided to, in the balance sheet. So, in the bank account, but it's not entirely mine. So I grew in faith. Like, I was very confident, like, yeah, I can do this. So I've always wanted so many things, and I wanted to create a kick-ass design studio. So I indulged myself and created that studio. I rebranded my company to Empire for Empower and Inspire. Empire. Oh, hugot line. So I designed that creative space and had fun, actually. I indulged my creative ideas, and we grew our team. I got into photography, and we were poised for greatness and world domination. So, of course, we always had fun, and I spoiled my designers. We had like Guitar Hero back then, and of course my studio, and some of the shoots that we did. It was fun, but, oh yes, I just have to put that in. But she's not as beautiful as Rain, I realize now. So, I grew in faith. I had focus, and I believe I can do anything. I could even be like my idol. Of course, Steve Jobs. I was a fan of his work. I love his product, and I tried to emulate him. He's like the Kobe Bryant or the Michael Jordan of basketball fans. So being a geek and a designer, of course, my Kobe Bryant was Steve Jobs. But we hit a brick wall. We were poised for growth, and I could not hire really good designers fast enough, and like Steve Jobs, I'm very meticulous about good design and everything. And then I realized that I cannot keep on training designers, because if I do it, I personally have to invest my time for 6 months and even a year to train really, really good designers. And I cannot rely on advertising graduates or design graduates from universities. So, here's the best part. Foolishness. Why? I decided to create my own school. Yeah, why don't I create my own school? I'm qualified. Super qualified. I'm a dropout. Like my idol. So, in 10, 11, 12, I chose that date because I'm very forgetful. So, 10, 11, 12, Sharo. So I opened UNS and designed the place and indulged my creativity, and one student enrolled. I was like, okay. I am a fool. But being foolish, so I said, why not? I'll start with that. So this is my design. I designed everything. I indulged my creative fantasies. So there, that's the reception area, and that's the lab. So basically, when I founded the school, I took out everything I hated about school. That was the formula. So, number 1, grades. No grades. No attendance. And of course, no, it starts with an M. No minor subjects. Besides, I'm not qualified to teach those stuff anyway. So, I don't have a PhD in education. So I focused on design, good design, and I added, what made me realize during my time as a graphic designer is that a creative environment is better than 100 teachers. You put the creative person inside that environment and magic happens. So they come up with their own ideas, and it empowers them to make them take charge and inspires them to create. And of course, it doesn't always work that way. Some students don't really know what and how to think. I realized that during the 4 years of being a school director and a mentor. So some of the, I'll just go through this, some of the student works, and then the murals designed, created by the students, because they're bored, so they saw a white wall. Sir, can we paint that? Of course, yes. So that's our animation. And then this, I believe that the whole model of education, stuffing too much information, is that we already have the wisdom of the world in our iPhones or phones or mobile phones. So there's no need for that. What we need actually is to teach the students how to learn. And then it got very personal. This is my nephew, and he's only, I think, 10 years old then. I can see in his Facebook picture that he doesn't have that fire. He doesn't have that kid's zest for life. And I remember when he was 5 years old, he was always, shall we say, ADHD kid. And he always doodle and draw, and he has this wild imagination. But when he reached grade 6, he was like carrying his backpack like this. He became the Walking Dead. So, I convinced my sister, like, hey, the traditional education does not work on this kid, because like he's like me. Maybe he needs to like get out of that system. So one summer, last summer, I enrolled him in my graphic design class, and this is his visual design communication class. His classmates now are like college graduates, second coursers, and age range from 18 to 20s, 22. So in week 1, the past summer, he does not know anything about Photoshop, Illustrator, and graphic design. And I just taught him the software. And I told him, draw anything you want, whatever's on your mind, just do it. Don't mind the technicalities of the software. So this is what he came up with in the first week. 5 days. But he spends most of his time, I think 8 hours or 6 hours on the computer learning how to do graphic design. And then 1 month later, his colors are somewhat sophisticated already. And then taught him how to use textures. So after six weeks, one of my Facebook friends, who is one of the owners of the Levi's and the Promont shop, saw that artwork and said, why don't I commission your nephew for my 2 feet by 8 feet wall in my industrial themed house. So he came up with this. So the theme was happy places. The client being a very well-traveled lady, so she gave my nephew a list of all the places that she wants to travel, the places that she had traveled. So in 6 weeks, a 12-year-old zombie can do this. He became a vampire. So after all of this, of course, I'm a Steve Jobs wannabe. I told my class, in my design thinking class, I want to be the Steve Jobs of education. And they sort of like, yeah, right, dream on. They laughed, actually. But this year, last July, Apple gave us this distinction and recognition for being actually we are one of the first schools in the Philippines. The first time they gave a recognition to any school in the Philippines. We were the youngest school to be recognized at 3 years old. The other schools recognized are in Manila, and they are very high-end schools. It's Ayala Zobel, and one is Xavier School. And we are the most very small and very underfunded school, relatively. But we won that award, and it's only 1 of 400 in the world. And it's a global recognition, and we can print that recognition on their certificates. So, you think I'm the Steve Jobs of education now? I told my students. So, yes sir, okay. But the takeaway from this talk, I'm not bragging about everything, and Rain already said most of it, that you have to take risks, have that fire inside you, and just be enough craziness and foolishness to do the things that you thought or you think or what everyone thinks is impossible. So focus on what you want, have faith in yourself, and be foolish enough to pursue your passion. And most importantly, family first. And you might be wondering what happened to the baby I made. The start of this talk. Well, before I reveal, I had this quote from Mahatma Gandhi. There is no school equal to a decent home, and no teacher equal to a virtuous parent. So it all comes back to the family and home. And that, I believe, who has already made babies, remember this. So, be a good parent. Be a good virtuous parent. You saw the result in the beautiful rain, parents, diba? Genes and upbringing. So, 14 years later, this is my son. He studies in a traditional school, but he's a brown belt in karate, and he was the striker in football, one of the highest scoring strikers in the rookie, when he was a rookie player. And now he's doing well. So it doesn't matter if you let your son or child study in a traditional environment. What matters most is the parents and the family. So I end with that message, and please be foolish, stay focused, and have faith. Thank you.